I am recording now. Thank you, Heaven. Saved me on that one. Maybe it'll be just me and you today. Well, you can't ask questions. You have any questions to type in? Anything you want me to hit in the meeting? You're killing it, huh? All right. Now you got 3 minutes and we'll get started. I'll be right back. Hey, Tom.
What is going on, dude?
What's up, man?
Nothing, man. Congrats, brother. Congrats.
Oh, thank you.
You excited? You're breaking up a little bit.
You can't hear me? That's not good.
There you go.
I said, you look like Agent 47. You know who that is?
I do not.
Oh, man, you got to look that up. That's my hero.
Agent 47. I'm going to look that up right now.
Agent 47. That's my hero, Tom.
Awesome. How's the trading going, dude?
Man, I haven't been trading much, honestly, man. I've been on a big commercial job that's kind of been eating me up. I'll come off of it in 3 weeks, and then I'll be able to really dive back in. You know what I mean? I was trying to play some trades here and there, but if I'm not giving it my full attention, I struggle with it.
You rush it. I totally get it, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I placed a couple trades. I did okay the other day. I was in Brian Knight's group, and he had some tips, and I did good on one of those, man. I got there have been like 60 pips off of one of his trades, man. CAD JPY. It was a good trade. But that was his setup, really, more than mine, you know.
Either way, man, you still learn a lot by doing that. 100%.
Right. Oh yeah, man. Brian is so smart about that stuff, man.
He's
so smart.
He's the quintessential ninja, man. He's good.
It is. He talks about stuff, man, that I'm not there yet, but I like it. And he's good at explaining it. He's patient.
Yes, that's the kicker, man. He's patient and he explains everything just so simple.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we're straight up 7 o'clock. We'll give it 1 or 2 more minutes, and we'll pull the train out of the station and get moving, man.
Cool, buddy. I'm interested to see how you orchestrate the charts.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You can't laugh. I'm going to mute you, okay?
I'll mute myself.
If you start laughing, if I say this is how you do it, and Tom starts laughing, then I said, no, Tom, you can't talk, man. You gotta cut me a break.
No, we'll be good, buddy. You'll be good. I remember my first one was it was interesting to say the least.
Nice.
Fun though.
Better than boring.
What's that?
That's better than boring, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a little nerve wracking.
Yeah.
But it's fun, man. It's I think the best of, I think we got 2 people on here. We got Heaven and Carrie. So perfect. 2 people in our group.
Oh,
Guys.
you mean the video was a little nerve wracking? Hi, Carrie.
No, my first time doing my first live.
I gotcha.
Yeah. This is because I
Okay.
didn't no clue how to do it, but either way, it's your show, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I don't either. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. I guess since there's 3 of us here. So Carrie, I don't think have I met you face to face, Carrie? Like on Zoom? Have we talked before?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a while.
Oh, okay. Well, good
Yeah,
to see
because
you
you had
again.
me and hey, you don't want to see me right now, for real.
That's all right.
But yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good to see you again.
You too.
So we're going to go ahead and jump in here. I guess if anybody else wants to pop in, they can. So Paul asked me to go over TradingView specifically. And he asked me to go over DeLorean, and he asked me to hit a little price action, which I call price action. Everybody else calls support and resistance and trend lines. I don't know where I picked up price action. I think I picked it up from Manny Quinones, whatever it is on IM. I think he says that, or maybe it's Chance and Samantha. Maybe one of them say it. But we can hit all 3 of those. Does anybody here not understand TradingView? Would you like me to go over any TradingView questions, or just kind of move through it? Because that's one of the main things here.
No, I mean, I don't really have any questions that I can think of right now.
Okay. If nobody has any questions about TradingView, we're gonna skip right over and look at the DeLorean. Is anybody here interested in the DeLorean?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Now, the only thing that I'm going to trip over is the 2 of these lines. That my short-term memory struggles a little bit, and I can't ever remember if it's 4 or 5. I think it's 5, but let's find out and see if I'm right or wrong. Okay? So we will hop on here. I'm going to share my screen with you guys, okay?
Yep.
Does anybody have questions before we start? We're all good to go.
Good to go.
Good to go. Here we go. Okay, we're ready. Just a second. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
I'm sorry.
Not
No,
yet.
we can't see your screens. I see you.
How about
No,
now?
please.
There we go.
Yep.
There we got it.
That's better.
Yes.
Okay, so today we'll just work off the USD JPY. I'm sure everybody probably uses this chart a little bit. This is an Owanda chart, which is going to be the same as any other chart, really, except that Owanda shows volume and Forex.com does not. So I'm in the process of transitioning from Forex.com to Owanda. Excuse me. So let me kill some of this stuff here, and we're just going to work with the DeLorean for now. Here we go. So this is the DeLorean. If you guys look it up, you just go to the indicators tab up here, and you type in the DeLorean. It's just like the car in Back to the Future. DeLorean EMA is the one I use right here by Eldon Diddick. Thank you, Eldon, for that. So this is the DeLorean EMA, and it looks a little bit choppy. Does anybody here currently trade with the DeLorean?
I tried it for a month, and
Yes.
I wasn't a huge fan of it, but then again, I wasn't shown like this. So
Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to start from the very beginning here. Okay.
Yep.
On the DeLorean, we have 5 lines: yellow, red. I'm going to call that like light blue. What we're going to go with, gray, and dark blue. Okay. So if we zoom in, we'll start with the yellow and the red. Okay. Ma'am? Did I have a question or okay? All right. So we got the yellow and the red EMA here. The yellow and the red EMAs are what we use to enter and exit trades. I do believe the yellow is the 5 EMA and the red is the 15. Let's check and see real quick. Nope, 5 and 13. I told you I would mess that up. So the 5 and the 13 EMA is how this is defaulted, and it's the way I've learned to use it. It's the way I keep it. You can switch this out. I know Manny on IM just came out with a new DeLorean method that uses like the 20, the 50, and the 200 or something. But for me, these have proven to be very accurate. So we'll stick with this. So the yellow is the 5 and the red is the 13. Okay. So here's how we use the yellow and the red. And it's really simple, guys. That's what I love about this. When the yellow crosses through the red, it's a signal for an entry. And when the yellow crosses back out of the red, it's a signal for an entry. Okay. So if we were looking for a downtrend, a bear market, we would look for the yellow to cross through the red. Okay. If we were looking for a buy, we would look for the yellow once again to cross through the red. And so you might say, you know, like down here, the yellow crossed through the red, but it's not real powerful. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't have made much money here or gotten many pips. And the thing I want to say about the DeLorean that's really important is you got to find the waterfalls, and that's just kind of a phrase I put in my head. If you're going to use the DeLorean, you're going to stay away. You're going to stay out of trades when the DeLorean is horizontal, and you're going to enter trades with DeLorean, or you're going to take trades where DeLorean goes vertical. Okay. So right here, these 2 lines cross, but you see how they're very vertical, which is telling me there's not a lot of volume in the market. There's not a lot of power right here. Okay. So we're going to kind of ignore this. But here you see how the DeLoreans or this what was it, 5 and 13 EMAs are more vertical. This tells me there's more power in the market. Here, once again, they're horizontal, but then they start to move very vertical here. And this is where the power's at. So here in horizontal DeLorean EMAs, I'm not entering this trade. The DeLorean is telling me for the horizontal line, there is no power in this trade. Okay. Here, where it's vertical, there is power. There is power in the trade. If we keep going back, we see the DeLoreans are horizontal. The 5 and the 13 are horizontal. Once again, there's no power in the trade. We're looking for it to go vertical like this. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
100%.
Good, good. So that's kind of what we're looking for. And really what we want is for it to go so vertical that the candles are poking through, like writing the DeLorean. You see how they've completely left the red line behind, and they're just way over here on this yellow line. That's when there's real power, and that's what we're looking for. You see the candles are all over the EMAs here. There's no power in that. And you see how the candles are real close to both EMAs. There's no power in that. So when these lines separate, we're getting into power, and that's a confident place to trade. So when the lines are vertical, we're trading. When they go horizontal, we're not trading. So that's our entry and our exit. So look here, if we were to go right here, let's zoom in right here. So we're going to ignore these other lines for now. We're going to hit these lines, but just off the 5 and the 13, these lines go vertical when they take off. I'm taking this trade. based on this indicator alone. Now, before we end the call, I'm going to show you that I couple this with another indicator that makes it more powerful. But just reading the DeLorean by itself, with these going vertical, I'm taking the trade. As soon as they go horizontal like this, I'm out, because there's no power in a horizontal DeLorean. Okay? So as you watch the DeLorean, all of this is horizontal. I'm staying out of all of this. But here, the EMAs cross. The red buries itself in the yellow EMA, which is the 5 EMA. And then you see here, the EMA goes horizontal. I'm out. Here, once again, it goes down. I'm in the trade. It goes horizontal. I'm out. It goes, it goes vertical again. I'm in. It goes horizontal. I'm out. That is how I do entries and exits with the DeLorean EMA. And I call it waterfalls. So look here, we're doing this. Look at this waterfall right here. Look at this. There's confidence in this trade, because as long as this DeLorean is vertical, I'm strong. As soon as it does this little thing right here, this little horizontal thing, I'm out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so it's not difficult. So that's how I time my entries and my exits with the DeLorean, okay? So now we'll move to the next line. This is the 50 EMA. I
I
can't
was
ever
just
tell
going
if
to
that's
say, do you
blue.
wait for ninja ups or down?
I do. Let's get through this, and then I'll show you what I couple it with.
Okay.
To make it a little stronger, okay? But let's just look at this all by itself first. So this is the 50 EMA. I can't tell if it's gray or blue. I think it's gray. This is the 50 EMA, and what this does is this tells me my trend, right? It tells me if I'm in a strong uptrend, or it tells me if I'm in a strong downtrend, right? As long as it's above the 50 EMA, it's an uptrend. When it crosses through the 50, when it crosses through the 50 and gets underneath the 50, it's a downtrend. So if you're trying to tell what type of trend you're in, gosh, I'm trying to find a downtrend here, guys. Let me back out a little bit. Whoa, we've been in an uptrend a long time here. Here we go. Here's a downtrend right here. You see how it crossed to the 50? Gosh, look at that waterfall right there. You see how vertical this went right here? So much power in that. And you see we crossed below the 50 right here. We crossed below the 50 EMA. We've separated from the 50 EMA, and we've gone vertical. This is a very strong downtrend, okay? And as soon as it goes horizontal, I'm out, especially once they come back together. The trade's done. I mean, if you wanted to wait till they got back together, I know Jeff says three candles of the opposite trend color, you're out. So Jeff would have said, get out right here. If you wanted to, you could wait till they got closer together. For me personally, when it goes horizontal, I'm done. I don't stay in the trade, because you can always re-enter. You know, take your profits. It's gone horizontal. Take your profits. The market's doing something, and then we'll get back in my opinion. So the 50 EMA is for uptrends and downtrends. You see we're above the 50 here. This is an uptrend. Again, is this a downtrend? Let's see. Is it a downtrend? No, it's on top of the 50 EMA. It's still an uptrend, in my opinion, which it was here. I mean, if you look at it, I guess it's not my opinion. It's what the DeLorean says. If somebody was asking you, is this, you know, is it going into a downtrend? No, it's above the 50. It's still headed up. That's what I use to keep track of what trend I'm currently in. Now, this is the 200 EMA, and this is the 800 EMA. And the best way to look at these EMAs are like giant magnets. Think of like electricity spiking. I don't know if y'all have ever seen arcing electricity, but it spikes out really strong and comes back. And that's what the 200 and the 200 and the 800 EMAs do to the candles. You know, when you're watching the market and you see the market spike and you think, man, why did this market spike that way? Because of the banks, sure. But what we see here is when it spikes down and hits the 800. It spikes down towards the 800, right? It spikes down towards the 200 because what the market wants is to get back to the 200 and the 800. That's where it's always headed. And if you look, time and time again, the market will get away from the 2 and 8 and then come back to it. It gets away from the 2 and 8 and then it comes back to it. And it doesn't get real super far away from the 800 before it comes back to it. So if you're trying to see what is the market doing, let's back up just a smidge. When the EMAs are spread out like this, there's a lot of power in the market. When the EMAs bunch up like this, you see how all 5 of these EMAs are in a little cluster right here? There's no power in the market right here. And in my opinion, and I stay out of the market when all of the EMAs are gathered into a bundle like this. There's nothing happening. The only thing that I really watch for is once the 800 and the 200 have pulled in the candles, they will reject the candles. And that's what happens. You see, they all clustered together here, and then they rejected the candles and blew the candles away from the 2 and the 800. But it always sucks them right back in. So it's this whole thing about the 800 rejecting the candles and pulling them back in, and rejecting the candles and pulling them back in. And we see that time and time again. When the market starts going down here, where's the market going to? It's going to the 800. You know what I mean? The market's way up here. How far is it going to fall? It's going to fall to the 800. That's just what it does. You know, the market's up here. I'm going to enter a trade. How far down is the trade going to go? It's going to go to the 800. That is just pretty much what happens. Sometimes it crosses through the 800, and it doesn't really cross through the 800 unless it's a really, really strong vertical, a pattern like this with the 5 and the 13. Then it has power to cross through. But if it doesn't have this real strong power, almost like it's backing up and ramming it, you know. Oh my gosh, I've got a bunch of people here. I'm sorry. Tom, is there a way to automatically let people in?
There we go.
There you go. Yeah, no, I was.
Gosh, I'm sorry, guys.
It's your settings, buddy.
Yeah.
Did you post this in the group at all? I was just thinking.
I did.
I know the problem, Tom. I just corrected it. It's just he doesn't have permission to post stuff like this into the group, so we're gonna have to change those settings for him. But I approved his post, so now it's in there. People can actually click the Zoom link right now, which is how I got here.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I apologize. I got to look.
Not your fault, Dalton. Not your fault.
Participants. Okay.
We'll get it straightened out. Don't worry.
Okay. You guys can't see the participants either to tell me if somebody's waiting, can you? Is that only on my screen?
That's only for you, unless you put somebody as a
Okay.
co-host, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Tom, maybe next time I'll put you as a co-host because I zoned out way hardcore on that. Okay, so in my opinion, if I'm watching this chart, if we're making a real soft decline towards the 800, it's not going to punch through the 800 usually. If it's going to punch through the 800, it's going to back up and it's going to ram it hard. And then it can punch through. If not, the 800 will for the most part reject it and send it back the other direction. So what it does is it comes down, and so it meets 3 levels of resistance. The first level, okay, the 5 and the 13 meet 3 levels of resistance. They meet the 50, they meet the 200, and then they meet the 8. So when you're entering trades, you watch these levels for points of resistance and consolidation. Or rejection, but these are the points where the market is going to act funny. You know what I mean? So here, the market went down and it played with the 50. Here, the market went down, it played with the 200. Here, the market went down and it played with the 800. The thing you have to remember is it's trying to get to the 800. So even if it rejects off the 200, it goes back up just a smidge. Where is it wanting to go? It's wanting to go to the 8.
Hey, Dalton, could you, since everyone just jumped on, could you explain the 5 and the 13 really quick for the DeLorean? just kind of a quick recap? Because I honestly, dude, that is gold. That is gold.
Okay. So there are 5 lines in the DeLorean. Just real quick, the yellow and the red are the 5 and the 13. I don't know why I struggle so bad to remember that. It's the 5 and the 13. So the 5 and the 13 are the entry, or what I use for entries and exits. When the yellow crosses through the red, that is a signal for an entry. When the yellow crosses back through the red, it can either be an exit or another entry. Let me just zoom in and I'll show you here. So here, the market went down and crossed through. This is a horrible example, but it crossed through. This would be an potential entry. Here, the yellow crosses through the red again. That's another potential entry. The yellow crosses through the red. That's a potential entry. Now, the reason this failed is because it's horizontal. So I would not have entered this trade in the first place, right? But if it crosses through and goes vertical and the candles bury themselves in the 5 EMA, then I take a trade. And I stay in the trade until the 5 EMA goes horizontal or turns. I mean, but it went horizontal before it turned. You know what I mean? Here, I'm in this trade, like right here, I would get in this trade. We're going vertical. The 5 and the 13 are separating. The green candles, and you're going to combine the things like with this, because look, the green candles, the bull candles are flat bottomed, you know, so we already know that's a strong candle in the first place. And these flat bottoms are pretty much riding on the 5 EMA. As soon as it goes horizontal, I'm out. Here again, the yellow and the red cross, but they're very horizontal. So I'm not taking the trade. What we're looking for is a waterfall. We're looking for the EMAs to go completely vertical. So again, when the EMAs are horizontal, I'm not in the trade. Here they cross, but they go very vertical. You see how they go out into a big fan. It looks like a waterfall to me. That's upside down. But the bear markets look like waterfalls. I guess this looks like a mountain. Here, all the EMA spread out. The 800 has rejected the candles, and we have a lot of power here now because the EMAs are spread out. The candles have buried themselves in the 5 EMA, and now we've gone horizontal, and I'm out of the trade. And I stay out of the trade as long as it's horizontal. I'm not out of the trade. All of this, all the EMAs are together. Don't do anything with the market while the EMAs are together. This is nothing. This is a trash market. Here, see how this is vertical? Again, the EMAs are close together, but when the candles bury themselves in the 5 EMA, you know this is going to be short. You know this is consolidation, but nevertheless, this is a powerful move. And as soon as it goes horizontal, I'm out. This is beautiful. The market is up here in the green. And somebody says, Dalton, where's the market going to go? It's going to go to the 800 EMA. That's just what the market does. I'm up here. I'm going to take the trade. Where is the market going to go? It's going to take a quick glance at the 200. It could have rejected off the 200, but it didn't. It went through the 200. Where's it going to go? It's going to go to the 800 EMA. It's just what it does, man. The market's way up here. Where's it going to go? It crossed through the 50. It's going to play with the 200. It broke through the 200. Where's it going to go? It's going to go to the 800 EMA. I know I'm repeating myself here, guys, but it's what it does. Right here, look how vertical this is. I love this right here. This is the waterfall. To me, when I see this right here, this is the waterfall. This is money to me. And this is the market trying to punch through the 800. It backed up like a slingshot, like a ram, and is trying to punch through the 800, which it did. The 800 didn't have the ability to reject it right here. As soon as this goes horizontal, once again, I'm out of the trade. So we're looking for the EMAs to fan. And once they fan, we're looking for them to come back to the 800. And once they get to the 800, we're watching them till the 800 rejects the candles and blows them back away. And it blows them away hard. I mean, look, when it gets close to the 800 here, the 800 rejects hard. They get down around the 800 rejects hard. It's what it does. Look, it touches the 800, it rejects it. Here, all the EMAs get together. No way I'm trading this. I don't even look at this, except that once all the EMAs get bundled, it rejects. And when it rejects hard. When the 800 rejects the 5 and 13 EMA.
Dalton,
Yes,
hello.
ma'am.
Why wouldn't you touch that
Yeah.
area? You said you wouldn't touch that area right there, but why not?
because there's only power in the EMAs, in the DeLorean EMAs when they're vertical. When the EMAs are horizontal, there is no power in the DeLorean indicator. Okay. So, and there's power when all the EMAs are fanned out, then there's power. But when
So
they're all together, see, the market wants to get to the 800. It wants to get to the 800. Once it's made it to the 800, it doesn't want to leave. So now that it's here at the 800, like if it's going up, where's it going to go? It's only going to the 800, but it's already there. So I'm not taking the trade. You know what I mean? I'm waiting till it rejects it hard. And the way you know it's rejected it hard is that you get this fan effect here. See how there's no fan? See it rejected, but there's no fan. There's no fan. There's no fan. This kind of started to fan, and I guess you could have made some money here. As soon as it went horizontal again, though, I'm out.
So that's basically that's a consolidation, right?
What you say? What's the
Is that that's the consolidation that the DeLorean won't?
That is DeLorean consolidation. I don't know. This is classic consolidation here. I mean, everybody interprets. Where's my?
But that's an imbalance.
Okay, go. So this is classic consolidation. Here to me, you know.
And so that's where you will stay away from that.
This right here doesn't really feel like consolidation to me, but in the DeLoreans, it is still consolidation. To me, the DeLoreans are giving good information there. Okay, so that's the DeLoreans in a nutshell, guys. If you want me to, I use 2 other indicators with the DeLorean, which I'm happy to show you, which I think give the DeLorean a little more power. Or actually 4 indicators here. Does anybody have any questions about this?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So what I like to do is use the Ninjacator, and hopefully my Ninjacator is working. It was not working last night.
Oh, did you find out why it's not working, Dalton? So every couple months, what Kevin does is he goes through all the users to see if anyone kind of opted out of the ninjas, and he kind of resets it. So sometimes you might have to just sign out and sign back in, and you'll be good.
Okay, good to know. Okay, so I am going to clean this up, and I'm going to show y'all exactly what my chart looks like when I trade. So I'm going to get rid of the Ninja up and down for now. I usually leave it on, but it gets really busy. So I'm going to take the DeLorean off the screen because I don't want it to look confusing, but we're going to come back to the DeLorean, okay? So this is the Bollinger Bands, and I love the Bollinger Bands because they go hand in hand with the DeLorean trading strategy, in my opinion. So just like on the DeLorean, there's no power in a horizontal, there's no power in horizontal EMAs. There's also no power in horizontal Bollinger Bands, okay? So here, horizontal Bollinger Bands where it just looks like a tunnel, there's no power in the market, okay? But here in the Bollinger Bands, the candles have, just like on the EMAs, they have gone into the line, which I mean, the Bollinger Bands are EMAs really, but we've entered the top Bollinger Band. We're in the Bollinger Band. As long as we're in the band, there's power. As soon as we exit the band, see how the candles exit the band right here? The trade is over. And this is how I use entries and exits with the Bollinger Band. So I'm not in the trade. I enter the Bollinger Band here. There's power. I would have really watched this closely coming out of the band. Power, power, power. As soon as I come out of the Bollinger Band, the trade is over. The Bollinger Band has gone horizontal. The trade is done. There's no power in a horizontal Bollinger Band. Here, the Bollinger Band goes vertical. The candles bury themselves in the Bollinger Band. There's power. As soon as the candles exit the Bollinger Band, the trade is over. Time and time. I mean, it's not like it ever changes. That's what it is. Here, the market is going down. to me, anything could happen here. This is no man's land, but once the candles get to the other side of the Bollinger Band and they bury themselves in the Bollinger Band, you're pretty much safe. You're going to stay in the Bollinger Band. As soon as the candles come out of this blue Bollinger Band, the trade's over. Okay. Again, we get in the Bollinger Band, we're safe. As soon as the candles come out of the top line of the Bollinger Band, the trade's over. We're in the Bollinger Band, we're safe. As soon as the candles come out of the Bollinger Band, the trade's over. Does that make sense?
So,
It's not, I mean, it's not complicated.
So what is this? The orange ones or whatever color it is the market going up and the blue ones going down, I guess?
Yes, the orange represents the bull market. The blue represents the bear market. Absolutely. So
Right.
Bollinger Bands, again, when I get into the Bollinger Band, it gives me confidence that the market is moving in the right direction. So when I'm shopping charts in the morning, my charts look like this. Here we go. So when the DeLorean fans out and we begin moving, I'm looking for my DeLorean lines to go vertical, but I'm also looking to get buried in the Bollinger Bands. And like here, I'm like, man, is this starting to go horizontal or is this not? Should I stay in the trade? Should I not? Well, I exited the Bollinger Band 5 candles ago. Yeah, I'm out of the trade. You know what I mean? Here, well, this is obvious here. Let's find another one. Let's go back a little bit.
Is there alerts that you
Here.
can set for this that tell you when you're outside of the band?
You know, I don't know.
So I probably couldn't do this with working all day. I probably couldn't follow this because I wouldn't be able
No,
to watch it all day.
This is if you were going to enter a trade, you could just check this to see where you're sitting. If you're entering a trade, I mean, if you're entering a trade up here and you're looking for a bear market, you know, you got to go, 10 pips or whatever this is before you're going to find some real solid security here. What would that be? 23 pips of insecurity, in my opinion, until I get down into the Bollinger Bands where I feel a little safer. So again, we get into the Bollinger Band, we exit the Bollinger Band, the DeLorean goes horizontal, trade's done. That's 2 indicators that are telling me the trade is done. And here we turn on the Ninjacator, the Ninja up and down, of course, right here. So the Ninja, you get the Ninja up, you get the DeLorean lines crossed, they go vertical, we bury in the Bollinger Band. That's my 3 indicators that tell me it's time to run. And then when they exit the Bollinger Band, they're going to exit the Bollinger Band before the EMAs are going to go horizontal. And that's why the Bollinger Bands, oops, that's the wrong one. That's why the Bollinger Bands are so cool, because I'm exiting a trade like early, not early, but I mean, before all of this consolidation hits in. I mean, look, if you stay here till the yellow and red EMA cross, you're just kind of tormenting yourself. When it comes out of the Bollinger Band, I mean, you could exit way back here, I mean, the Bollinger Bands have told you the trade's done, that makes it easy. Time and time again, that is what it does. Anybody have any questions?
No. I'm good.
No. Cool.
Well, so if you're doing this strategy, are you normally doing it on the 15-minute chart?
So it works in every time frame. In my experience, it works in every time frame.
Every time?
I will say, guys, I guess I should tell you this. I really don't want to overload you here, but I will tell you when I trade this strategy, what my chart looks like is, what my chart looks like is this. So this is the US yen, US yen, US. We need the yen here. So this is technically what my screen looks like. I got the 5 to 15, and this will be the 1 hour. Here we go. So what I do is I trade on the 1 hour, but the EMAs are not the same from the 1 hour to the 15 to the 5. You know what I mean? Obviously, they're going to be close, but they're not the same. Uh-oh, there's a Obi-Wan right there. It just got serious, y'all. So if you get like a ghost bounce, if you get like this bounce right here that looks like it wasn't really bouncing off of anything, most likely this bounce is coming from another EMA on another screen. So I watch the 5 EMA here. This is like sniper stuff, you know. It'll cross on the 5, you know, the EMAs, the 5 and the 13 will cross on the 5, then they'll cross on the 15, and then they cross on the hour. So this gets you in a really early entry. If you're looking to get in, this gives you early confidence, and then you can be really committed on the 1 hour, if that makes sense. That's kind of the way I do it. But you definitely don't have to. But it works on every time frame. You can snipe with this, or I mean, I use it from the 5-minute to the 4-hour chart. I mean, when the candles move and bury themselves and everything goes when they bury themselves in the Bollinger Band and everything goes vertical, I mean, it just is what it is. They're just going to be there until they go horizontal. So it doesn't really matter what time frame you use.
What is this one blue line here? Is that the average?
This one right here?
Average or no? The one right there where your crosses? Yeah, that one there.
Yeah, that's the 800 EMA. That is where the market is trying to get back to. We covered that. I'm sorry, Matt. We went over that pretty early in the call. So the market is always trying to get back to the 800 EMA. And once it gets to the 800 EMA and consolidates, then the 800 EMA will reject it and send it back out in one direction or the other, and then it pulls it back in. So you look at the 800 EMA to wonder where the market's going. Like if I was going to enter this trade right here, right? Watch, guys. So I come up here, I'm watching this trade, right? I'm not entering this trade. Okay, let's say I want to take this trade. I want to ride this trade down on a bear market, right? My uptrend is ending, which I don't know if y'all do this, but count the Elliott waves, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The trend is over, right? We're going to start coming back down. I'm going to watch for the yellow and the red to cross. Once it crosses, it's going to come down. I'm going to watch it at the 50. If it crosses the 50, I'm going to watch it at the 200. And if it crosses the 200, how far down is it going to go? It's going to go back to the 8. That's just what the market does. If it's really, really vertical, it may bust through the 8, but it's going back to the 8. One way or another, it always comes back to the 800. So you watch it. When you enter this trade here, watch it. It crossed to the 50. Fine. Where's it headed now? The 200. And that's what it did. It's no coincidence that it stops right at the 200, right? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. It's no coincidence that it stopped right here at the 200, right? It's no coincidence that it stops right here at the 800, the 200, the 200, the 200, right? The 200, the 200. I mean, over and over and over. It crossed through the 200. Where's it headed? The 800. You know what I mean? Here, it busted through, which it does. But once it busts through and it starts back up, where's it headed? Again, right back to the 800. Once it gets way spread out like this, I mean, once it's been away from the 800 a while, the 800, it's like the longer it's away from the 800, the harder the 800 is going to pull it back. When it's way strung out here like this, way far away from the 800 can't stand that. It pulls it back in. It's just,
Hey,
it
Dalton.
just is what it is. Yeah.
How are you? It's Jason here. What about if you're trading on the 15-minute?
Yeah,
So
it's
if you're trading on the, I know it comes back to the 800. What's funny about this, the red and yellow EMAs, is that the 5 and 13?
It is.
Because I actually created my own script, my indicator, with EMAs that include the 5 and 13. And I have, I think, the 20 and the 62 and I think it's a 200. But
Okay.
I've noticed when it's a lower time frame, like 15, it comes back to the 62. Kind of like
Oh,
what it does
really?
with the
Okay.
800. Yeah,
Well, there you go. Okay, so maybe that's see, the 62 would be like right in here, huh?
but I haven't used the 800. So, but it seems like the 62 would act like the 800 is here. And then you have the 5, 13, and 20.
This is the 50 here. So
That's
the 62.
okay. So that would be the 50.
this-
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the 200 here. So a 62 would be riding right under the 50. Well, let's just see, huh? Let's just play a game. Let's find out.
Oh,
I
you know
have
what?
an
Because
indicator.
if you look at the 1 minute chart, it's really early entry, right? And you get the best stop loss for that. But no, it just looks similar. Yeah. But this is
well,
DeLorean
it is.
strategy.
I mean, it is extremely similar. Well, this
Yeah.
is my DeLorean strategy.
Okay, so yeah,
I
like the
did take
5 minute. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I took the 5-day IM DeLorean course, and I pulled. I mean, I tried to follow his information as closely as I could. He had some engulfing candle things and stuff, and I just didn't follow it very well. Granted, I only took the course one time, but it blew my mind. I just kind of saw it, and it all just made sense. So I've just kind of been doing this. When I put it with the Bollinger bands, it makes it really easy. And then of course throw volume in there, throw the RSI in there. You know what I mean? I mean, just couple it up with your other strategies because they all work together.
There's so many. Yeah.
It's just that once this locks in and goes vertical, I have confidence. Once it goes vertical and it's in the Bollinger Band, I have confidence that I'm okay until the lines go horizontal, because every single time they come out of the upper Bollinger Band, the trade's done. And every time the EMAs go horizontal, the trade's done. There's no guesswork with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you see the patterns.
It's not like,
right.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, well, you know, it was vertical, but the trade was done. No, that never happens. You know, it's never going to happen that you're in a vertical place like this and the trade is over before it goes horizontal. It's just not going to happen. Now, granted, you do have to watch the charts, but I sit in front of the charts. That's how I trade. And I was talking to Tom when we first got on the call. He said, "How's it been going for you?" And I said, "Man, not great, because I've been working. I'm a contractor, a general contractor." And I said, "Man, I haven't been able to sit in front of the charts. You know, with this strategy, I am sitting in front of the chart because I have to be here when the line goes horizontal."
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is what it is. But when I leave my chart, like if I enter this trade here and I leave my chart, where am I setting my take profit? I'm setting it at the 200. Right? Like if I don't know where the market's going, I'm setting my profit at 200. If it crosses through the 200 and it's headed down, where am I setting my take profit? I'm setting it at the 800. You know what I mean? So if
where are you setting your stop loss?
So I set my stop loss at the trend break at the last high.
Okay.
So like if I entered the trade here, I would set my stop loss here. You know,
like if it broke
entered the
structure,
trade
you
here,
put it up. Yeah.
Right. I put it at the last structure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, just, you know, I call it price action, you know, the support and resistance and the trend lines, which this chart only has DeLorean on it. I got to say, before I do this, I have my support and resistance set, and I also have my trend line set. You know what I mean? And then I use this for entry and exits. But my chart is always marked up with support and resistance and trend lines for analyzing. So I'm kind of confident in what's going on. You know what I mean? So I kind of know where things are headed, you know, what zone I'm in type deal, you know. But, you know, Manny Quinones is using, Jeff just told me he's using different EMAs, which is some small, you know, instead of using the 5, he's using a 7, instead of using a 13, he's using a 20, instead of using a 50, he's using a 70 or something like that. But it's all the same thing.
Yeah, he uses McGinley, which like on the harmonics, he puts McGinley on. But I don't really notice a difference between just regular EMA and McGinley.
I'm
He
curious
says
now.
he says it's like
In-
more accurate.
Oh, is it the McGinley Dynamic?
Yeah, that's it.
Or-
That's the one. That's it.
Okay. Well, let's see. So what is the McGinley Dynamic?
It makes you coffee.
It's the 14 EMA. We're using the 13. So we got the McGinley built into the DeLorean, -1 candle. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
gonna fall.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's gonna fall right in line with the damn it, I always forget. The 13 EMA is what we have here. So yeah, same deal, man. Who is this man? He's doing this?
Manny does, and he's coming out with his pro entry in August. I think they're going to launch it.
Okay, yeah. If Manny's doing it, then
But I think
Then
he
it's
uses
right.
a 4 and a 13, so I would use 5. I think you have 5 and 13. He might use 4 and something.
okay. Same principles though.
Yeah,
Yeah. Same principles, which are proving to be pretty powerful here. But that's DeLorean, guys. In my opinion, it's not exactly what IM teaches. There are a couple different ways to read it, but I do think that the vertical power and the horizontal weakness is across the board. I think that that's true. The market does go to the two. Go ahead.
If I wanted to do it this way, couldn't I do it this way and then set an alert for a trend change? And then I would just get an alert and could still essentially follow doing it this way, or not really?
For a trend change, like if you set it.
So if I set an alert to know, it's like, so if you have to be in front of the computer this way, because like it does make a lot of sense, but I can't sit in front of a computer. If I set an alert for when it would change, wouldn't I get an alert for that so that I would know when to buy or sell or whatever, or no?
I think the alert you're looking for is the Ninja down or the Ninja up would probably be your best best alert.
Yes. Agreed.
So I could still do that with using this strategy though.
Yes. And that's right, Tom. And I do set up and down alerts. And then when you get the up or down, just see if the red and blue have crossed, which is the 5 and the 13, and see if they're going vertical. If they're not, forget about it. If they are, hop in. And then you would just set your alert at that point. Let's say you're taking a bearish trade, right? So you got the Ninja down, you look in, it's vertical, you enter the trade, you're just going to set an alert for a Ninja up at that point, and then when you get the Ninja up, check and see if the EMAs have gone horizontal. If they have, get out of the trade. You can also set your stop loss at the closest EMA, the 50, the 200, or the 800 EMA. If you're looking for not stop loss, take profit. You can set your take profit at the 50, 200, or 800 EMA, because in my opinion, that's where it's headed. That's where the candles are headed.
Because it makes a lot of sense to me looking at it that way.
Yes, it really does. It does make a lot of sense. And honestly, guys, I use the harmonic scanner every day. But what I do is I come through, and anybody that's done a one-on-one with me knows, I come through and I shop the charts. And this is what I do. I just sit here and I look. Is it horizontal? I don't want the trade. And I'm just, the way I start my morning is it vertical? You know what I mean? And I'm just looking for waterfalls. Because sometimes you'll get on here, like right here, all these EMAs are together. Nothing's happening right now. Nothing is going to happen right here for the next couple hours. What are we on? 15-minute chart? Yeah, again, this is headed up. These are starting to go vertical. The 800's right here. If you're interested in 20 pips, if it breaks the 200, it's headed to the 800, most likely, if it breaks the 200 right here. If you want 20 pips. Right here, we're getting away from the 800. We're getting awful close to the 50. If this breaks over, this is how I look for trades, If this breaks over and busts that 50 and it goes vertical, man, it's dropping. You got to watch it at the 2, but then it's going to drop to the 8. And I just kind of shop through the charts in the morning. You know, look at this. Look how that went vertical. Look how it's turning right there. See the yellow and the red have crossed?
Mm-hmm.
And see how they're wanting, look, this is looking like this is going to want to go vertical here. And we're going to turn on the Ninjacator and look for the ninja down. We're going to look for it to bury itself in the Bollinger Band, which it's already acting like it wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it heads down towards the 50 and stays in that Bollinger Band, you better believe I'm in this trade. And I'm going to ride it all the way down. Look how far away the 800 is. Oh man, these candles want to go back to the 800. I'm telling you.
I have been
they
watching
wanna go
this
back to the
pair, and I have been watching this pair too, waiting for this.
Yeah, you see? I mean, look at this. It wants to go back to the 8. I hope that we all agree with that. If not, we can back test it. And look, it always goes back to the 8.
Yeah.
It may do it slowly, but that's 88 pips. And look how long it's been away from the 800. The longer it's away from the 800, the more the 800 wants it back.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah. This could, well, no, look how far it went back here. Look how, so in my opinion, we're right kind of in this area on this trade, you know. If we look at distance here, hold on a second. If we look at, what was this, 88 pips? Sorry guys, give me just a second. 88 pips. Yeah, in and around.
Mm-hmm.
This, to me, that feels like this area right here. Ooh, that's 109, so not even really. So we're more in this area. So technically, I mean, if this does what it's done before, which we know the markets like to do, this could rise up again. So definitely watch it. It may, what did it do? See, it bounced off the 200. So we're going to watch it. When it goes down, watch it on the 2, because last time it was at this level, it bounced off the 2 and then headed up to, another, 120 pips.
Mm-hmm.
So watch it on the 2. You see it bouncing on the 2.
Mm-hmm.
Bounce on the 2, bounce on the 2, bounce on the 2. But watch the 2. If it breaks the 2, it's headed to the 8. Usually. Gosh, that's the big word there. Usually.
Hey Dalton, quick question for you, buddy. Have you ever tried this with banker strategy?
You know, I'm just looking into the banker strategy. Let me say, I'm just getting to the point where I'm really researching the banker strategy. I like the way it sounds, and I've heard a lot of good things about it, but I'm not real familiar with it. If you know the banker strategy, Tom, we should talk, because I'm trying to get it under my belt now.
It's very simple, and someone like Matt would definitely benefit from it. Not being around the charts all the time, but if you can pair these two and kind of marry them, I think you got something lethal here, brother.
Let's do it. Let's put our heads together then, Tom.
I like these bald heads.
Right. Right. Okay, guys. Are there any other questions on the DeLorean? I want to take that as a no. Does everybody here know, and are you confident setting price action, support, resistance, and trend lines? Is there anybody here that needs help with support, resistance, and trend lines?
You know what? I probably do, but at the moment, I'm kind of out shopping right now. So I figure maybe next time.
Okay.
Probably couldn't hurt for you to just kind of touch base on it for everyone and anyone, just to see how you do it. I'm actually interested to see how you plant that.
Okay. That's scary, because there's a little bit of interpretation there. Okay. But so here we go. So let's pretend that I am going to sit in front of the computer all day long, which I love to do, and play with the market. And I'm going to focus on the 15-minute time frame. Okay. So if I am going to be on the 15-minute time frame, and I'm going to set support, resistance, and trend lines, I go up. I have the 30-minute here, Tom, because you turned me on to the 30-minute, but I really use it for analysis. I don't really set support and resistance on it. So from the 15-minute, I would go to the 1 hour, and I would look for places that the market respects over and over and over. So we're going to look for market highs and we're going to look for market lows. On the 1 hour time frame, I'm going to get my drawing tool here. I suggest that when you draw support and resistance, you always use the same line with the same color every single time. That way your charts don't look confusing. Now this is an obvious peak right here. So I'm just gonna place a line there. Let's move up a little bit. Oops, I forgot I had this on, I'm sorry. Just a second. There we go. And I'm looking for places. So what I'm looking on my dotted line, on my dotted horizontal line right here, I'm moving like this. And when it touches, I'm counting how many times it touches. So there's one touch right here. I'm going to keep moving down. 2 touches right there. I'm going to keep moving down. 3, 4 touches there. That's consolidation though. To me, we're crossing through consolidation and we got a touch here and a touch here. The close touches here. So I'm going to draw right here like this. We've got a low down here. This is an obvious low. So I'm going to draw another line down here on my low. Which, see, I got 1 touch here. The more touches you get, the more the market respects it. So I got 1 touch here, not a lot of respect. 2 touches there, not a lot of respect. But here I got like what, like 5 touches? And support and resistance are zones. They're not solid. So look, if I got 1 touch here, but I got 4 touches here, all I'm going to do is remember that that's my zone. Let's get this here. And I'm going to draw a box around it. And I'm going to say this is a zone. And what I'm going to do is go from, let me show you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go from one zone touch to the bottom of the other zone touch. God, these controls right here are annoying. So you see, I had a zone here. I mean, I had a support line here, and I had a support line here. So to me, this is a zone because it's touching both lines and kind of there in between as well. Let's hop up to the 4 hour here. See, we're in kind of a new area. See, there's nothing here to really compare anything to. So we got to go way back, guys. We got to go way back in time. Here we go. We got to see, the market has to have been here before. You know, if I've only got, you know, when we're setting this right now, like I'm setting this here, but we've only got this little bowl right here, and that's not a lot to set support and resistance off of. So you go up a time frame. Again, when I zoom all the way out, still the market hasn't been here. So I got to go back to the last time the market was here, which is here. Okay, now I see the market has been here before. And this is where we're going to find our support, because the market is going to respect support and resistance from different time frames. So I'm going off of this touch here, this touch here, this touch here, and where it's currently at right now. And I just move up and down, and my eyes are trying to catch areas. Look here, I got touches here, 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 and here. So I'm going to keep that. Look at these 2 peaks up here. These are obvious, huh? Look at these 2 big peaks up here. Look at that. Boy, that's not coincidence, is it? And this is how you mark up support and resistance, because of if the market has been to this line before, so I'm saying these guys right here, this guy, this is consolidation, but on the line and here. So I'm gonna call that good enough for now, okay? Because you don't want to make your charts too muddy. And what you do from here, so that's support and resistance. What we're gonna do here is grab this little guy right here, the ray, and this is a downtrend. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go from the top of the trend. Oh, you gotta get off my screen, dude. There we go. You bring it way out here like this and you go down. You let it swing down. I got one touch. I got two touches. Ugh, that's not it. You see how, that's not it. You see how we kind of have what I'm trying to do is see the top of these candles right here. And I'm trying to get this line to lay on top of these candles. This, I don't know if you can see this or not, but this angle just does not match the angle of these candles. So this is not the correct trend line. That was some sort of odd deal going on here with the banks. Right here feels much better though. All right.
Hey, I gotta hop off of here, so I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, sir. Have a good night. It was good to see you, man.
You too.
So to me, this is the trend line right here. And a good way to test a trend line is to clone it. If you want to know whether or not your trend line is correct, clone your trend line and take it to the other side and see if it matches. See if you can find the bottom side of that trend. That feels pretty good, but I'm pretty sure it's right there. So to me, this is my tunnel now. Now I have this little downward trend trapped. In my opinion, I have its support and resistance lines, and I have its trend. And what we're looking for on trends, what we're looking for is we've trapped this in this trend line, and if this trend line is correct, it will stay in this trend line, or it will pop through the trend line, usually retest the trend line, and then head the opposite direction. So since the market is at a level of resistance and also on my trend line, the likelihood of the market continuing up right here is low. What it's most likely going to do is it's going to bounce here and go back down, or it's going to break through this trend line and start a new trend. You know, we're going to have a higher low here and then a higher high. What it's going to do is either it's going to, gosh, hold on a second, guys. Here we go. So right here, it's going to bounce. It's either going to come down like this and continue to be respectful. Actually, it wouldn't do it there. It would hit the support right here. Is this making sense to everybody? I hope it is.
Hey, Dalton, do you ever go to a lower time frame?
I do.
Because
once I kind of get it set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is daily. But I want to know where it's headed long term. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
I set it up. I set it up where I can find my trend lines, because once I go down to the 15, I want to know where it's headed in the long term. You know what I mean? Or it's going to come up. I'm sorry, guys. Or it's going to break through, and it's going to retest, and then head up. I'm sorry, that retest should have been over here like this, like that. There you go. So in my opinion, the market is at a place where it's either going to break through or it's going to go down. Of course, I mean, it would be a better example if it was down here, you know. So once I get my trend lines all set up, I go back to my current trading time frame. which is the 15-minute. Back out here. Ooh. There we go. This is the 1 hour, but we're close. And here I can see what the market has been doing over the last couple of days. It looks like it's been being random, but it's been staying in between these trend lines. And once you get in here, you can make smaller trend lines, of course, as well. But here's a pretty good place where it looks like it's about to come back down. Sorry, guys, I get lost in this stuff. You sit and look at charts so much alone, you forget to talk with people. Yeah, so it bounced off here. It's coming up to here. You see it hit the line, and it's coming back up. It's retesting. Off of that, what were we on, the 1 day? It's retesting, so we're going to watch it here to bust through, or we're going to watch it to come down. This is a point where it's going to turn. So right here, we're going to turn on the DeLorean. And the Ninjacator with the Bollinger Bands off for now, because I really only use the Bollinger Bands when I'm, in the trade. Here we go. Yeah, and we'll focus right in here. We've got a support and resistance off a higher time frame. Yeah. So, which way is it going to go? That's the question. We know if it comes off of it, it really wants to get back down to the 800. This resistance line, support line, no, resistance line, I always get that messed up too, is a strong indicator that it's wanting to come back down. I think it's really important to have support and resistance set up so you can kind of know. Well, that's what you always want to know. When is it going to turn, and it's just another indicator that is just proven over and over and over. The market does the same things over and over. I set up a pitchfork at the beginning of the year. Maybe it was in March, and the market was still playing in the same pitchfork. It was crazy, man. Months ago, it's still playing in the same pitchfork. It's wild. So these resistance lines, support and resistance lines, will be good. Gosh, just about forever, or at least for a couple months, really. I think Manny says yes. Manny says to change them every 5 days. I think is what Manny says, just to keep your charts fresh, But yeah, anyways, that's support. That's how I draw support, resistance, and trend lines. So look, I was trading 15-minute and I went to the 1 hour. If I was doing a 5-minute chart, like if I was sniping on the 5-minute chart, I would jump up to the 15-minute and draw support and resistance. Same thing. Like I would draw, we'll just do this real quick, but here's a high, a low. It looks like we've got something right there. Maybe right there. Yeah, right here. Right here. That's too many though, really. You kill a couple of these because they can't. If you get too many, in my opinion, you may as well just go with the other little things. And then we can draw our trend line here. We're going to go from the low up. Gosh, Manny Cornona says there's multiple trend lines in a trend, and you just got to kind of choose the best one. It's kind of like interpretive, there's no, there's no perfect way to do it. It's what is your interpretation of the chart, and that's what makes Forex so interesting. Is what do you think? You know, to me, this, like, why set it up here rather than down here? Is, man, this feels like a fluke. You know, this feels like something that the bankers maybe did. Up here, I get more hits on it. I get 1, 2, 3, and technically these are pass-throughs. So I would watch to see if it bounced off here again, and then I would trade it off the 5-minute here. And the DeLorean is going to work again. I would just watch right here. It's no different. They went vertical here. I'm just going to wait for them to cross through. I'm going to wait for the yellow to cross through the red and for them to go vertical. And that's it. That's it. I know support and resistance feels really interpretive, but you just got to practice it, and just know there's no perfect way to do it. But it is essential, in my opinion, especially with trend lines, because you just want to know what's happening. Where is the market going? You know, and support and resistance helps you know that. All right, guys. That's everything I got. I think that's a brain full. If anybody has any questions, I am happy to answer them.
I have a question. Well,
sure.
Not so much a question, but well, maybe. Have you ever tried, when you plant your support and your resistance, to use the line chart?
I don't even know what the line chart is.
Look, so next to the Heikin-Ashi and the normal candles, you see the line chart?
Oh, the line chart. Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
I found that so useful to plant support.
You're right.
So useful, man. It was just like,
he's right. He's absolutely right. And that's a great point, Tom. That's a great point. It is better to place it off the line chart. It's a lot easier to read.
100%.
And the DeLorean, the Heikin-Ashi candles are they're averages too, so it kind of skews it just a smidge. The line chart is spot on, you know. Yeah, I've done the DeLorean with the line chart too, and that's kind of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, Tom's right. Absolutely, use the line chart. It's going to make it a lot easier to see the peaks and the valleys, and kind of see where everything's headed. You just, when you look at a chart, just, you know, don't just look at it horizontally. Look at it diagonally and try to see where the break of structures are, you know. And you can kind of just get to where you can kind of just spot it, you know. But it's important to draw it as well. All right. Guys, I would suggest watching Manny Quinones in the IM Academy. I don't know if everybody here is in the IM Academy, but definitely watch this stuff, man. Everything I do, not everything, but a lot of it is based off of Manny. But man, there could be a trend line, guys. There could be, not could be, there is. There's like a trend line here. There's a trend line here. You know, there's trend lines everywhere. It's just, what are you going to trade off of? You know, what are you going to use as your parameters for your trade, right? If I set support and resistance here, and you set support and resistance here, it's not wrong. It's what it's just, what are you going to use for your roadmap? You know, I mean, you do have to set support and resistance off of highs and lows. I mean, that is the rule for support and resistance. But if I pass one by and you decide to mark it, it's not right or wrong. It's your chart. So kind of that's kind of the place where you know, the indicators tell you this is what it is, this is what you have to do. Support and resistance is where you get to put your interpretation onto the chart, and that's interesting to me. You know, that's kind of fun. All right. Anything else?
Nope. Awesome
Yeah,
stuff.
that was great, man. Thank you so much for that. That was
You're welcome.
super informative.
Yeah, thanks. This was fun.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate your time. If anybody has any questions, you're welcome to message me during the week. Tom, I'd love to do a one-on-one on the banker strategy and put it in with the DeLorean and see what we come up with.
Yeah, let's definitely collab, man. I'm down.
Awesome, guys. Okay. Well, I'm going to end
Thanks,
it, y'all. It was
Dalton.
nice to
Have
see
a good
y'all.
night.
You're welcome. I'll see you in a week.
Cheers, buddy.
Okay, cheers.
Bye.